and welcome to another episode of Experts Speak. I'm Michael DeLon, and today I am talking with Raj Goodman Anand. And Raj leads a company called Goodman Lantern. You're going to hear a lot about them. But when I realized what you do, Raj, and the breadth of it, but also the way that you help businesses connect and resonate with their audience through content marketing, I knew I wanted to have you on here. So first of all, thanks for being here. Thanks for squeezing me into your schedule.
Well, Michael, thank you for having me. It's a real honor.
Well, you are quite welcome. It's going to be a great conversation. So as we progress into this, tell us, first of all, Raj, how in the world did you get to where you are today doing what you do?
Yeah, really interesting story. So I'm an engineer. I was doing a PhD in AI when at the University of Sussex in the UK, which is 1 hour from London, just to give you some context. And I met somebody during the summer of 2005 from the US, actually, from California, and she mentioned about the power of MySpace. So I'm like, wow, I love this. So I spent, I think, 3 weeks and I built a clone of MySpace. And I'm like, wow, I've got a clone of MySpace now ready. And, MySpace, for people who don't know, it's like Facebook of the older folks.
Right.
So that obviously not us two, but the other ones. So yeah, I built this. I'm an engineer. I don't know how to sell and market. So I go around and I find this, like, I got some scholarship to do a MBA, mini MBA, crash course MBA, right, government funded thing in the UK. And I just fell in love with marketing. So I sort of stopped my PhD. I just did the first year. So I dropped out, started a company doing social media white label for brands. And that was the first step. Then I wrote a book for Financial Times. I then joined as a executive of innovation, sort of innovation director at a Spanish company, helped them grow, became the CEO, helped them grow from 7.5 million to 45 million in revenue. And I'm like, back of good content. And that's the bit where I'm like, oh, okay, content is very powerful. If done right, especially in B2B, can help you grow. So I left that organization, began my own 8-ish years back. And today we run Goodman Lantern. As you mentioned before the call, sort of like we are on 4 continents. We have clients on 5 continents, and focusing a lot on high-tech companies and their content, which is for humans by humans.
Well, no, and I love this. We're going to dive in deep because I think a lot of business owners and tech specifically, but a lot of business owners hear content marketing and they think, I don't know what they think, but they think anybody can do it and it's just content. I just need to get content out. But too many times, if you just put content out, it's not engaging content. It doesn't resonate. Talk a little bit about the importance of good content or content that, as you would say, resonates with. What is that, and how do you do it, and why is it important?
Well, I was saying this to someone earlier. Would someone build a house without a blueprint? Would you actually build a house without actually planning it out? It's similar to content strategy. Is there any value in like building a website with like lots of like pages and blogs and then white papers and blog social media content without actually planning out what you want to create? And how do you plan? Well, the strategy is all around your customers. What do they want to see from you? How do you help solve their pain points, their problems? So all that we create is a journey, a plan, a map to help our customers' problems and help them adding value in their lives. And that's what, in essence, strategy is all about. It's all about creating something which is valuable at all times, super informative, can give them different levels of education, and then that will help them sell more and grow faster.
Yeah. And that's really, really good because you're helping your customer solving that need, which is really in business is what we're all about. And I think that's probably why you've been successful in how you help companies create that content that does resonate, because you need to understand the pain points of your customer and address them. And you also said something of educating them. And here's a problem I see, Raj. I go to websites. Number one, they look like they were built in the 1800s. So you need a better website. But most of the calls to action on a website is like, schedule a call with me. Schedule a call with me. Get a free consultation. And I keep telling business owners, that's good to have somewhere, but I don't know that it should be like the first thing I see because I'm not quite ready for that yet. I haven't dug in for the information to on the journey to get to the place where I'm ready to talk. Is that fair? Do you see that? And how do you overcome that?
Well, there's a thing called the flywheel, content flywheel, where you have sort of three levels and then it feeds back in. So they have typically top of the funnel, top, middle, and bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Top is all about having a broad audience who want to learn about your solution, whether it's a product or a service. You help educate them. So say, for example, you want to sell cell phones or mobile phones. You educate people on what is a good cell phone, what are different ideas of a cell phone, what's out there. That's the top level. Middle level is educating them about your offering, your cell phone, your mobile phone, right? What are the features there? What's it different? How can it make your life easier? How can you remove pain points from your life? And then the last point there is to convert them. So you have to go through a journey before you can actually say, buy from me now. Mm-hmm. And then if that all goes well, that will lead to them recommending you to other people, their friends, their families, schools, and that will then go back into the top of the funnel, and that will just become a recursive sort of improvement opportunity, but also help you get more customers.
Yeah, and that's great. And I hope everybody heard what he just said there. Is you get that customer, they walk through the funnel, they start referring you to friends, neighbors, relatives, business associates, church members, right? That starts expanding your sphere of influence at very little cost. And then those people come back through that same funnel to get educated the same way, and it happens over and over and over again. So you're not always waking up every day, every month saying, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What am I going to write about this month, Raj? Well, you've got a strategy there of some nature. I love the blueprint idea because everybody thinks blueprint, but they just stop. No, the blueprint's really detailed. It's every room. It's every outlet, but you don't deal with that when you're building the foundation. You're pulling back, right? And I think, help me understand it from a marketing perspective. I mean, how many layers deep should a blueprint be? Because it could get really overwhelmed, because I am not an engineer, Raj. I would get overwhelmed really quickly. Help us understand the leveling, I guess, of this blueprint, this flywheel.
Well, so plan-wise, I think the first step is, who are your customers? What are the pain points? Where do they hang out? What is your tone of communication? Are you sort of, are you a formal company? Are you friendly company? What kind of content do you want to produce, for example? Is it going to be based on your customers? Where do they hang out? What they do? Is it going to be social media? Is it going to be are they hardcore B2B companies who just do emails? Is it going to be just emails? What are you going to talk about to them, for example? What is the frequency? Who's going to do it? What's your USP? So there are a few things there, and I think I can send you across like a content style guide. It's a template we have on our website. You can use that. You look for goodmanlantern.com style guide, you'll see that. So it's a great way to kind of get started. You have these bits there. Then if you hire a team member or an outsourcing organization, you just give them that, and then they know what to do.
Right. And I think, all right, so many things there. Hiring an organization that understands who you are and can execute that. And I think that's the value, Raj, of one of the many values of what you at Goodman Lantern do is you come alongside the business and help them execute that brand, that personality of the brand. I love what you said in there, and I'm gonna dive in just a tad bit of who are you? What, as a company, you have a DNA, you have a brand. If you go to when you go to Raj's website, you'll understand who they are, what their mission is, and why they do what they do. And the picture that hit my mind, Raj, was the difference between IBM back in the day. All right, well, IBM, think about IBM. I saw them in the airports, right? They were all blue suits, white, red tie, boom. I mean, you just knew that was an IBM dude because that was their culture that they had built. Versus Apple, when Steve Jobs would walk on stage in his jeans and his black t-shirt. Both in very similar industry, same industry, really. Totally different culture feel. Was one of them right or wrong? No, it's who they were, and their communication, coming back to you, has to be true to that. And if IBM started communicating like Apple, there would be dissonance and it wouldn't resonate with their audience, right? Unpack that, because I think so many business owners, tech companies especially, are trying to fit into what they think they should be instead of saying, this is who we are.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, people say, "Oh, are you B2B? Are you B2C?" Actually, we just P2P. We're person to person, right? It's just like, we buy from people, we buy from individuals, and the the persona, the feelings have to be genuine, because that's what helps people buy from you. If Richard Branson, I mean, he has a persona. Maybe he's not like that in real life, but his persona is fun-loving, like giving, pretty laid back. But while when he's working, he works really hard. So like that's the personality type the company has, and the Virgin brand is all about embracing that brand. And it's that's why they sell more than perhaps competition. So especially in the UK, I mean, they have like they had all these different like transportation, they had colas. I mean, literally everything had Virgin, sort of out there. So I think that personality is super important. And whether you're B2B or you're B2C doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you need to have some core values which you buy into. Like ours is, for example, one of them is being inclusive. So everybody we hire have to have the same mindset. We do test them in like indirect ways to make sure they're inclusive and they are human and they are humble. That's who we believe we like to bring on board. So that's showcased in our website, in our servicing, and everything we do.
Heaven forbid you put that on your website, because that might offend somebody. That might push somebody away. I tell clients this all the time. In your marketing, it should attract your ideal audience, and it should really repel people who don't want to work with you. And I love that. We do a very similar thing with hiring our people, because we have our 5 core values, and it's like, this is who we are. This is how we operate. Are you on board with this? And if they're like, I got 3 out of the 5, great. Let us find you another place to work, because nobody's going to be happy. And when you do that as a company, what it does is it puts that stake in the ground, and it causes people out there who are searching for a digital media company like yours. They'd hit your website, they'd read about it. And here's one of my marketing principles, Raj. People buy who you are more than what you do. And I think you just exemplified that by saying, on our website, here's who we are. Here's what we're trying to accomplish. This is how we operate as a company. Yeah, we can do all this other stuff. I mean, how many digital marketing companies are there? I mean, really? I'm not buying a digital marketing company. I'm buying a relationship with a group of people who can help me execute this plan. Is that fair?
Absolutely, you're right. I mean, there are probably about 1 million marketing agencies out there, maybe more. I don't even know. So stop counting. Um, but I think you're right. People want to know that they can work with the people they're hiring. They enjoy working with them. It's going to be a fun journey. They can relate to them. Of course, they need to know this stuff, but I mean, it's something is teachable, it's coachable. Personalities, the core values are usually within you. In fact, to actually test somebody, they have core values. We ask them questions around their family and how they interact with their friends and family to understand, because values are uniform across a person's life and journey. So if they have it at home, they'll have it at work as well. And so that's super important again. I think also it's good to have a mission, is good to have values. Because if we don't have one, then it's just the company with the name, doesn't have any personality. And rarely a company should have a personality. It should be like a person who has a style, a way of being. So, I recommend companies that invest in or own companies that, think about having personality, having a mission, growing that mission, and making sure that it's more than just money.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. Because yeah, money's not the motivator. There are other motivators that are, I mean, we need money, but I don't want people on my team who are just working for the dollar, because they're going to leave me to go to a bigger dollar.
That's
But
it.
when they're bought into the mission and they're helping us achieve something far greater, and their values align with how we want to represent to our clients and things, it just makes it so much more fun. And that's what business should be, is fun, because it is a journey, and we should be building relationships, is right.
100%. 100%. I mean, it's life is too short to not enjoy the journey. So I always say, let's go out and let's have fun. Also, I think, um, yeah, money is important, but if money was a byproduct of the hard work you put in, that is a better outcome. I think a lot of companies who do that and know that the fact that money is the outcome is not the ultimate outcome. It's just something that just comes out. It's like the gas from the exhaust of a car. It just comes out because you run the engines and make it run faster, and then that comes out. And that is what the money should be. It should not be the goal, but the byproduct of the actual
I
journey.
love it. That's a great analogy. I'm going to keep that word picture right there, is really good, because yeah, we don't work for the fumes of the exhaust system, right? But we need those, because without that, and that sometimes can be put back into the engine to make it work faster in reinvestment. But it's not what we're working for. We need to be working for the relationships, the impact. And I keep coming back to the personality, the brand, to go, these are the types of people I want to be associated with. And when you start aligning yourself in your business and your vision with these types of people, and realizing that content marketing is much bigger than most business owners give it, right? You just had at the very beginning how you took a company from like 4 million to 40 million or something through content marketing, because it was the right content, structured. You had the blueprint. You knew how to communicate. You understood your audience. It really can be so deep. And I think that's one reason, Raj, what you do is very valuable, because business owners, tech companies and things, we're busy. I mean, I want a fast solution. Sometimes you can't get a fast solution, but you need somebody like you and your team who can work it as I'm over here doing the deals and everything else. Is that what you find as you partner with companies? Is that kind of how it works?
Well, busy companies who are growing, who are going public, who are growing at like 50% month on month, for example, they need partners who can help them scale up. They need partners who can do the bits they can sort of send their way while they focus on the most important part, which is to, sell more and grow further. So we partner up with them to help them achieve that success through strategy, content creation, and distribution. And that's what we kind of do. It's super important that that's done, because when we're growing and we're growing at like million miles an hour, we have to make sure that we're focused on our main goal, which is, and stay focused. And so everything else has to be delegated and elevate the people you're delegating it to. So whether it's internally or it's externally, or whether it's through an AI bot, it doesn't matter. It's about understanding the right people in the right seats. And sometimes it's not the right person. It is a group of people to bring in to help you grow the business. And a lot of stories where agencies have come in and helped them grow. That's why, I mean, big brands hire agencies in the first place, because you bring in fresh ideas, a sort of a plan, a process, which is hard to get when you're just hiring one freelancer. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I recommend that as well. But you need something to bring in. So again, it's understanding wanting to bring in the right time and put in the right seat, basically, for your company.
Yeah. And that is so good, because business owners, as they grow, too many times I find they want to hire somebody, train that person and all that, which you totally it's a good model. Sometimes it's faster and better to outsource and bring somebody like Raj in with his team, because they're already schooled, they're skilled, they've got a process. Once you align with them I would say from a values perspective, and then from a strategy perspective, now as a business owner, I don't have to think so much about all of that, because you're executing. Yes, there are meetings and back and forth and all that, but I don't have to train people. I don't have to worry about them. You've got this. You've been doing this. You're experts at what you do. Is that?
Yeah.
I don't know that there's ever a right or a wrong. It's situational based on the company. But if you're growing fast, you need somebody like Raj.
Well, what I'll say is you need somebody to sort your pain points, right? And many a times the clients you're working with, they are high-tech companies. They're in banking and fintech and telecom and machine automation. Huge organizations. They're growing really fast, and they need, for example, expertise. They need, they need people with the experience in writing a white paper, for example. These are like PhDs working on this together with a content expert who has journalism background. So we bring native English speakers, we bring in SMEs who are subject matter experts all together into one room. It's complicated, it takes a lot of effort. So, again, we do this every day. This is our bread and butter. So it's simpler to bring us in than to, for example, building a team, getting it wrong, iterating on it. By the time you lost the battle that you want to, go on, basically. So
Right. Because then you're focusing on the wrong things. Because as the business owner, the tech guru, you're running the business. You've got to be out there. I always go back to Apple and Steve Jobs. Everybody's like, Steve Jobs, Apple. Yeah, Steve Jobs didn't create a whole lot at Apple. He was the face, right? He's the visionary, but he had other people who were coming up with stuff and doing things. He was the pitch man, and you need all of them. And that's why I'm so glad, Raj, to have you here. How do people take that next step with you? You mentioned something on your website, some kind of thing. What all do you have there at your website? What is the website? How do people take that next step to learn more about you and about Goodman Lantern and how you can help them?
Yeah, so thank you for that question, Michael. So obviously we are a content marketing agency. We help, as I mentioned, high-tech companies to sell better and grow faster. And our website is goodmanlantern.com, where we have a variety of services. When you work with us, we assign you an editor, someone very senior, a lot of experience, and then they have a team of writers, designers, website experts who will then help you. So you always have a consistent person who's there working with you, and then they build a style guide, a knowledge base for you, so that we can create content for you all the time. So to scale up or down the content with the team the editor has with them. So that really helps to create something consistent. In terms of what we do as a company, apart from obviously doing content, we also are a mission-based company. Our mission is to empower women in technology and marketing, so much so that we're 80% plus women in our organization. And it's a huge part of what I do. It's my third company, it's sort of company in the past. And I've realized that mission-based companies are more successful. They are, more importantly, they're driven with passion, and there's a drive in everybody in the company. I have a 2-year-old daughter. I wanted to grow up to come into a fair society where men and women are equal. So that's what I'm trying to create here with the business. And yeah, I mean, if you'd like to have a chat, drop me a message on LinkedIn, drop me a message via our website, goodmanlantern.com, and always happy to hear from you. So please get in touch.
That is awesome. I love all of that mission-driven companies, and we're a mission-driven company as well. I love sell better, grow faster. And I love that you have a 2-year-old daughter. I've got 4 kids. Mine are much older than that because I'm much older than you. But it's always fun just to talk with entrepreneurs who have that mission, who are we embrace money and finances, and yes, you have to have them, but that's not our driving. That's not. I don't get up every day going, "Can I make 8 figures this year?" I don't. I just don't care. The money comes as I stay focused on the mission and the people and equipping those around me, and it's well, you experience as much as I do. When you live that way, you just attract the right people, and the money comes. The clients come because of who you are, Raj. Thank you for being who you are and being comfortable who you are and making an impact in the world, but in women's lives around the world and in the clients that you serve, because that ripple effect of how many people they touch is just inestimable. So I think your daughter's got a great future. I can't wait to interview her in about 15 years, and she'll probably replace you and take over, and then you can go do something else.
Sounds great. Sounds great, Michael. Thank you very much for taking the opportunity, to sort of taking the time to talk to me. It's an honor to be on your show. I love the energy you got. Really, you are energy packed person, I must say. And thank you for taking the time once again. And very glad to share what I know. And I hope that your audience grow and succeed, and use content the right way to make a positive impact in the world.
That's awesome. Raj, I'm going to grab all of that information you gave us. I'm going to have it in the show notes in case people are exercising, walking their dogs or whatever. I know they're going to be intrigued. So go to the show notes and reach out to Raj, goodmanlantern.com. Find out what they do, how they could help you grow your business, and do it through great content marketing with a human spin. How about that? Raj, thanks so much. Have a great day, my friend.
And you, Michael, thank you very much.